Hey guys, welcome to T Soul Podcast. We are back with another episode where we speak from the soul. I know last episode we discussed about listening to others pertaining to our relationships. And today we're going to discuss the topics of attitudes when dealing with relationships, codependency, being interdependent, as well as independent. So, let's talk about codependency. We all know that is a major downfall when it comes to relationships, right? And it's basically a dysfunctional relationship where it's just one-sided. Like you have one person being a caretaker and then the other person, being taken care of. And now we're specifically discussing about love relationships at this point, right? But basically, when we're talking about codependency, someone being a caretaker to the other person, not necessarily speaking of, a child taking care of an older parent or something like that. We're not discussing about that. We're specifically discussing about the person that you are intimate with, as far as a love relationship. Now, if they act as a caretaker, then basically you know that the other individual, he or she, is someone that can do things on their own. They can clearly do things on their own, but they choose to rely on the other person, and that's basically like a caretaker. That's a codependent relationship. It is not healthy because then you have one person put in all of the work, and it's tiring. It's so tiring, right? Whether it's sex, whether it's time, whether it's love, whether it's patience, whether it's just putting more effort. Kind of like what I said last episode, a relationship is 100% on both parts. But a codependency relationship could be 80-20, 40-60, 70-30. I mean, y'all do the math. Y'all know. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants a codependent relationship. You want the relationship to be fair. You want the relationship to be balanced out, right? Everyone, both parties putting in the same amount of effort. But when you have a codependent relationship, in my opinion, now I'm not a therapist, I'm not a counselor, and I'm only speaking these topics and these situations based off experience. So let me clear that up. But when you're in a codependent relationship, and I'm gonna speak on both ends, kind of stepping into both ends of the situation of the relation of a codependent relationship. For an example, if I'm the person that's doing everything in a relationship, it's draining. It is really draining. And it's like you're giving it all over and over and over again. But it's like the person takes you for granted. No matter how many times you try to invest in the relationship and do your part, at the end of the day, you're doing your part and then some when the person is only giving you nothing or less, right? That is a codependent relationship. Now, when you're independent, right? More than likely, most people look at independent being, a single person, whether you're a single male or a single female, single man, single woman. And when you've become so single, when you become so, when you're single, you become so independent that when it is offered to you a relationship, you don't even know what to do with it. You begin to overpower the other person. You know, kind of like not allowing the person to make decisions together with you. Kind of like overstepping your boundaries. Not allowing the person to come in and match the energy, so they say. You can have a very independent woman when when you're in a relationship and you're dealing with an independent woman. When does she know how to kind of fall back and allow the man to be a man, right? I know some of y'all fellas get tired of that sometimes. You know, you don't want a woman to emasculate you. You want a woman to respect you, but you also want to respect the woman as well. But you don't want her to run all over you. And let's keep it real, ladies. You know, we could be very independent, but we don't want a man we could run over, because ain't nothing we could do with that, right? It's no joy out of that. We want a man that's going to stand up and say, no, baby, no, we're not doing that. So we have to be able to know when to cut that independency off when dealing with a relationship. Not so much cut it off. Let me backtrack. Not so much cut it off, but just know how to manage it in a way that it is not demeaning to the man. And men, that goes the same, you know. When you're too independent and you don't want the woman's help, you know, sometimes, most times, it's always good to have that woman's touch. That little detail. That femininity. I think that's part of independency. You know, a woman can be, and let me clear this up too. We all embody feminine and masculine energy. Ladies, when we are working and we're at our throne of threshold where we're getting money or working, we're acting out in our masculine energy. But when we come home, we 9 times out of 10, we are working in our feminine energy. It's knowing how to adapt to the relationship according to the love that you all have with each other. Whether it's a heterosexual relationship or a homosexual relationship, it doesn't matter. Because again, we all act out in our feminine and masculine energy individually. Now, interdependent is kind of like when two people depend on each other. That equal give and take that you want in a relationship. Knowing the difference between interdependent and codependent. Codependent, just one-sided. Interdependent is both people. But like I said, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a counselor, I'm not a marriage counselor. I'm just only speaking from experience. Personally, I would rather have an interdependent relationship because we depend on each other, putting God first, right? Putting God first, because you can't do anything else if you don't put God first. But being interdependent, that means you guys are making a decision to make choices for your livelihood or your way of living together. It's a team effort. Both of you are that team. You're one. You're together. Right? And then, when it comes to relationships, and fellas, I'm going to have to back on you with that. I am a female, so sometimes I know I can have a little attitude. I've had attitudes before. Men don't like that, ladies. Men like a woman that's poised, but also knows how to be herself. Staying true to herself. Being respectful. Standing up for herself, yes, but knowing how to respectfully stand up for herself. Men don't like attitudes. That's just going to push the man away. He's not going to want to deal with that. And some men have attitudes too. So ladies, I'm not just harping on us. Some men have attitudes too. I mean, you would think that on the other aspect of it, when a man has an attitude, you think he got a period too. I mean, his menstrual cycle, or however you want to say it. It might be that time of month for him. Who knows? Now, this show is about speaking from the soul. There is no one-sidedness with this podcast. Okay? We're looking at both parties. Different situations. Excuse the noise, y'all. But like I said, we keep it real on this show. Men don't want a nagging woman, and a woman does not want a nagging man. Y'all should be able to express yourselves in a way that, you guys can understand each other. Because a lot of times when there is a disagreement in a relationship, there's lack of communication, for one. And then just because two people are in a relationship, they may have two different ways of how they communicate. Or two different ways on how they express themselves. That's why I feel like when it comes to relationships, you're supposed to take your time. You're not supposed to rush into a relationship. Because then you get to understand the person. You get to understand how they operate, how they think, what they think about. Do their actions match what they say? Whether you're a female or a male, it doesn't matter. Taking the time to really knowing the person, understanding and seeing the person. Okay, are they a goal-driven individual? If they are, will they put their job first before me? Or will it be like a equal give and take in the relationship? Will this be a team effort? Will we gain achievements together as well as separately? Will we be able to get along? Or when we have a disagreement, is the love still there, or are there going to be spiteful things being done? No, a relationship is not perfect, like I said before in the last episode. But it's about how you work through them, but understanding what you're dealing with. Now, we've already discussed about, self-love and self-worth. But also, when you're dealing with relationships, you may have a relationship that just doesn't work out for you. And then you will have to learn and know how to walk away. If it's draining you to the point where you have nothing else left to give, then that is time for you to walk away. But if there is one inkling of hope and you want to make that relationship work, then go for it. But ladies and gentlemen, we also have to understand that most times the biggest arguments in relationships are not really what you actually argue about. It's getting to the root of the problem. For an example, if a man takes out the trash, but you're already upset with him about, let's say, he didn't give you enough time or attention the night before. Maybe you wanted to spend some quality time with him or her or something, or him. I'm just saying him because we're, giving an example. And then he was, I guess, watching the game or, you know how guys do when they in their element. And then as soon as he didn't take out the trash that night before, the next day, you're complaining about why he didn't take out the trash. But that's a petty argument because really it wasn't even about the trash. It was about him not spending time with you. I've noticed, though, when dealing with relationships, men don't know what you want until you actually say that. Sometimes they don't know. So communication is the key, one of the keys to a great relationship. But see, if a man is too busy, I'm doing this, or I got this to do. Let's say y'all live in two separate houses, but y'all are dating. Y'all not really in a relationship, but you all are dating, right? He's got so much going on. I got to do this and that, and I don't know if I'm going to have time to come and see you. Well, whether it's a male or a female, well, then okay, well, obviously they're not interested, so let me keep it pushing. Why keep trying to entertain someone about getting to know someone or dating someone or spending time with someone if they're not wanting or showing you that that's not what they want? If they cannot give you the time of the day, then why keep entertaining it? Cause it's more I'm sorry, y'all. It's more fish in the sea. There's plenty of fish in the sea. I'm not saying you got to go out and sleep with everybody. No, that ain't what you do. And I think this is an issue when it comes to dating. Because this new age, dating is, okay, we go out on 2 dates and then we together. No, that's not dating. Dating is exploring your options. Now, when you explore your options, that don't mean you sleep with everybody. If you don't want to sleep with anyone at all. That's not the goal of dating. The goal of dating is to get to know that person, keeping your options open, seeing how they operate. Do their words match their actions? Those are the type of things that you want to pay attention to when you're dating. Not just dating just to be dating, or dating because they have this, or they have money, or they have a car, or they have a house. So it's not about that. Because then if you look at it like that, then that is what? Codependency. And you can also look at it as them being on the other side. You can also look at it like, oh, they're very independent. But are they too independent? What can I offer them? I don't have much as they do. So how will I be able to offer them anything? It's all about balance. It's all about balance, people. If a table has 4 chairs and one leg of the table, if a table has 4, I'm sorry, not 4 chairs. But you can even look at it like that. If a table has 4 chairs and you're missing 1 chair, then that's not a dinette set. If a table has 4 legs and it's missing 2 legs or 1 leg, then the table is lopsided, right? How can the table stand up? Now, if y'all want to be technical, let's come on now. However many legs a table has, whether it's 4, whether it's a big table, it doesn't matter. If the table is not balanced, it's not going to stand up, right? Life is about balance. Everything around you is about balance. If you hang a picture up on the wall, if it is crooked, it is not balanced on an even level on the wall. Life is about balance. We have to understand that. And if you are not balanced within yourself, then you can't be balanced in a relationship. But when you're in a relationship, you want to be balanced. Life is about balance. Everything around you is about balance. If it's not balanced, it's not going to stand. So, bringing the word interdependent into a relationship, to me, that is about balance. Both people's efforts and achievements being successful. That is about balance. Both parties are making resolutions together to problems or issues. We have to understand that through it all, whatever your religion is, whether you're a spiritualist or you're into spirituality or whatever religion, we want to always gain that knowledge, right? We want to always look upon God, right? Whoever you worship, because I'm not, people worship different things, and that's understandable. That's a different topic, but we're not discussing that right now. But whoever you look up to pray, which for me, it's God. There's only one God. He sits on the throne, right? God sits on the throne. God oversees everything. God hears all, sees all, right? That means balance comes into play. God allows things to happen to have balance. So understanding certain situations that you go through, just my opinion of advice, and I'm only speaking this through experience, y'all. That's why it's T Soul. We speaking from the soul. Whatever disagreement that you might have with your partner or that you have had, balance it out. Understand the other person. If it's a situation where it's forgivable, then forgive and move on. And if it's a situation that it's hard for you to forgive, you still forgive, but you go your separate ways. And that's okay. It's okay for the other person to have a different perspective. It's okay. Yes, we all have a brain. Yes, we all have a body. Yes, we all have a voice. But just because we have that does not mean that everyone thinks the same or talks the same or walks the same. See, when you understand the individual person, when you understand the duality of people, then you can understand the polarity of the world. Again, when you understand the individual duality of a person, then you can understand the polarity of the world. So, now that we got that under control, now that we've discussed that, attitudes. Come on now, y'all. We got to work on our attitudes, okay? Y'all about to make me get real deep in here, but I ain't going to do it. That's why I'm a little quiet. So I just want to say thank you all for tuning in. I hope this message kind of resonates with your story or may help you in some kind of way if it resonates. If it doesn't, that's okay. Spread the word. But we have a live event coming up on the 28th at 11 a.m. Even if you can't tune in at 11 a.m., I will post it as a recording as well if you cannot get to it as the live event. But we will be discussing reinventing and remastering. We'll touch on some topics about that. And if you guys can like this video, like this, share it. I'm tongue-tied today, y'all. I'm sorry. But if you can like and share this, send it to someone who may need, a little voice of reason or may need a little help or can resonate with someone. I thank you all for the support and love. Now I'm getting ready to grab me something to eat. Maybe that's why I'm a little tongue-tied today. But that's okay. I'll catch y'all on the next episode. Remember, the 28th, 11 a.m., live. If you cannot catch the live, we will be doing a recording if you cannot catch the live, okay? Peace, blessings, and love. I'm out, y'all.